It's officially 5 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting of the Marion County Board of Education to order. And then we will move on to item 2, which is the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Moving on to item 3 is communications. 3A is public comment. Anyone signed up this evening? Okay, thank you. And then moving on to item 3B is our superintendent report. Mr. Brady?
Yeah, so this one will be a little bit longer because it's the year in review. So we'll start with facilities in our area technology center. So you can see the work started there earlier last week on Tuesday, I believe it was. But the ATC is undergoing the drilling for our geothermal system. So those wells that you see there will be drilled 500 feet deep for our geothermal system. And then with the demolition of the interior of it. So you'll see the picture there in the bottom left-hand corner. The ceilings have been torn out. Some of the flooring has been torn out. They're getting ready to start saw cutting the foyer to put some new plumbing in. So a lot of work is happening up there very quickly. And then the picture you see at the top left hand is what the new maker space will look like. So the tile you see is the solid vinyl tile, which will be a nice upgrade, and then the painting and cabinetry you see there. So it's a project that we're really excited about, and I know Ms. McRae and her staff are excited as well. So continuing on, our district facilities maintenance building there is nearly complete. So if you all remember, that was the old bus garage that used to be quite the eyesore, and we've renovated that building. A lot of that work was done in-house. Our maintenance guys did the bulk of the wiring and different things to save money. So of course we did put a new roof on that building and then the brick as well. So it has shaped up to be a fantastic building for Eddie and his staff. And again, it's just an area that we can be proud of. The old building that they were using down below the bus garage was very inefficient as far as heating and cooling. Our electric bill and our utility bill kept growing and had raised to a point where it just didn't make sense. So again, this building's there and it will be very efficient, and it will be just a nice addition to our buildings and to our maintenance staff. So the band tower you see there is now complete. The M is up and the electricity is going to it, so it is on a timer that comes on at night, and our band students are just so happy with that, and it is a major upgrade to what we had, so it's just a much safer option. So earlier in the year, we completed the renovation of the fitness center there, so you can see the new equipment and the new flooring. That building received new paint, new flooring, new ceiling, new HVAC, new equipment. What am I leaving out, Scott? I think
The restrooms.
The restrooms were renovated with epoxy flooring and new counters, new partitions. Is that it?
Nice.
Yeah, that's plenty. So anyway, something we can be proud of now. So you can see the parking lot there. It is now finished. So we got a final coat of blacktop during spring break, or there around spring break. It is something that the comment that I keep getting told is, what did we ever do without it? It feels like it's always been there now. So again, something that not only our staff, but our students and our parents, especially the baseball parents, are very happy to have.
So probably one of the biggest announcements of the past year is LES. So as you all know, we had 9.87 million that was allocated by the General Assembly the last budget session. And then at that time, our bonding potential was around 10 million. And then so we were asking for an additional 10 million from the General Assembly. So after many trips to Frankfurt, we did finally get that money in the budget. So we're trying to move as quickly as possible on LES. There's a slide in here a little bit later on that shows where we're at, and we've actually passed that up at this point. But it is in the early design phases, but our goal is to continue moving as quickly as possible to bid that out sooner, hopefully sooner than later. So that was the slide I was talking about earlier. We're now in the schematic design phase, so we're a little bit further than programming, and we're continuing to have meetings regularly to move forward as quickly as possible on that. So our KSA results, as you all know, we're continuing to make improvements on that. So we ranked 7th out of 27 CKEC school districts, which is a huge increase from what we were. Actually, I think there are over 30 CKEC districts now. Some other districts have joined, but we are 7th and continuing to rise. I'm very proud of our staff and what they've been able to accomplish. So recently, the Academic Education Scorecard was released, and as you all know, we were one of 100 districts nationwide that were recognized, and they did a case study on us. We were the only school district in Kentucky that they did the case study on. We're outperforming our peers as far as reading and math performance. You can see the trajectory there that we've had since 2022. So I'll just add here, I can't do this without our staff and our teachers, and everybody has done exactly what they're supposed to do, and the results show. So again, kudos to our principals and our teachers and our school staff. And I know if I start calling people out individually, I'm going to leave someone out, but again, you all heard me talk about collective teacher advocacy, which means we're working together for a common goal, and that's exactly what our staff is doing. So I could not be more proud of our success, and that success lies with our staff, our school staffs.
I think we need to applaud our parents too,
Yeah.
because that little extra
That's
at
right.
night, some has to give a little more than others. And it is hard after you work all day, or to be a stay-at-home mom, or whatever you do, or dad. So give them credit for what they do, the reinforcement.
Absolutely, and so many, especially you really hear that effort around testing time. You hear so many parents talk about, I told them they need to go to bed earlier, or I did this, or I did that. So you are exactly right. And again, we couldn't accomplish what we accomplished without everyone working together, and that includes all of our stakeholders. Access to algebra, so both Lebanon Middle and Marion County Middle met their access to algebra goals, which meant money for our students. So I don't know how many got a check off the top of my head, but there were quite, do you know anything?
I want to say it's around 42 one school and maybe a little 44 at the other.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think it was around 50-ish, so close to 100 students in the district total that received a check. There were lots of smiles on their face today that they received that money. So Access to Algebra is a program that encourages middle school students to take algebra, and again, it does include the financial incentives that I alluded to earlier. So again, just a really good program and a lot of success with that. So the use of Chromebooks, so schools continue to adjust their use of Chromebooks over the course of the year, and technology is part of instruction. And then I know Ms. Farmer is probably the one that started this, but incorporating our periodic screen-free days. So that is something that we're going to continue to look at over the next year and to plan accordingly. Technology is great, but it needs to make sense. And by making sense, like the goals that I have and the measures that I use is, in my personal opinion, technology should allow the learner to do something they couldn't otherwise do or enhance instruction. And if you're not meeting one of those two criteria, then it's not usually an effective use of technology. So it's something, COVID kind of fast-paced us into the use of overusage of technology, and it's something that we're going to continue to plan for and adjust based on again the criteria that I mentioned earlier. So a couple staff members that I want to highlight. So 6 staff members were accepted into our Aspiring Leaders program. So that is a program that we do in-house, and just to encourage our folks to step up to the plate to be leaders in the future. So A lot of our leaders have a lot of years of experience, so over the next few years, we're gonna have quite a few opportunities for people to move up. So this Aspiring Leaders program allows us to grow our own. So we've got some fantastic people part of that. And then we're continuing our relationship with Campbellsville University and hosting students from the education department. So a couple times a year, we have our students from education students from Campbellsville University. They come, they observe the district, we take them around, they observe teachers and students, and then we bring them back here and usually feed them lunch and talk about opportunities that we see on the horizon for teaching opportunities. And then 2 high school teachers this year were now able to teach dual credit courses. So they went back to school and got the graduate courses in math that it requires to teach those dual credit classes. So it's put us in a really good position to continue our dual credit program. So I wanted to highlight some numbers with school nutrition. During the 25-26 school year, we had fed 251,250 breakfasts and 389,465 lunches. And then our summer feeding program is underway with 39,137 meals distributed during the first 2 weeks. So technology, we're always continuing to adjust our cameras and to replace cameras and upgrade equipment to ensure that our buildings remain the safest possible. So that's something that Ms. Emmons and her team are constantly looking at. Fiber optic cable, we replaced that from the high school to the ATC and then to Lebanon Middle. That was a huge upgrade this year. As you all know, we own that equipment, so periodically it has to be replaced. And then our new staff and student login process to improve security, that's something that they're presently working on. So our JAG program, the Marion County High School had their first year of the JAG program, which included an official ribbon cutting ceremony earlier this year, guest speakers, and then hands-on experience. Mr. Alan Harmon has done a fantastic job with that, and it has just been a really good addition to our high school. Mr. Peterson, you want to add anything to that? I know you're super proud of him as well.
Yeah, for being the first year, and the success that it had was incredible. It reached a whole nother group of students. You know, it definitely, it was more important to our culture than it was anything. It just gave another opportunity for those students to be involved and connected to something at the high school.
So I'll give a shout out to Representative Pollock. He came and met with Mr. Peterson and I last year, and he recommended this program and said it was available, and we looked into it and met with the reps and it seemed like a good fit. And again, Mr. Harmon was just the perfect person for that job, and it has just been a really successful year. So our food pantry, that's a new program that we started this year. It's been really successful as well. Our families visited the food pantry over 120 times. And as you all know, we just started this in December. So from December to May, 120 families visiting it. Again, just another way for us to help serve families. So as you all know, we added an SRO this year. So our student resource officer, Chris Jewell, joined MCPS, and again, thanks to the partnership with the Sheriff's Office. So he serves Marion Middle, West Marion, and then Calvary. So our impact survey, our Impact Kentucky Working Conditions Survey results were published with MCPS showing improvement in nearly all areas. And then the last, no, it's not the last slide. So just again, I share this slide to say, while I received that honor, it's a district as a whole and what our staff has done that allowed me to be recognized and featured as not only a district that has improved our academic and facilities, but just a district that's improving overall. And again, I'm one person and I could not do it without my team. Oh, okay, I thought that was the last slide. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 3C, our student recognition.
Yeah, so Miss Grace Hamilton, I saw her back there. Come on up. We just want to recognize you as being chosen for the Gatton Academy of Math and Science. And
I would just like for you to talk about that process, if you will, and what you're looking forward to, and just recognize you. It's quite an honor to be chosen for that.
So I did like an application online, and it started in August and it closed in February. And so after that, they sent out an email like mid-February, and so interview day was up in Bowling Green, February 30th, not February 29th.
Yeah.
28th.
Close enough, right?
Someday in the month. And then it came out a week later if you go down on it. So it was a really short like turnaround.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so, but while I was up there for interview day, we did like interviews, of course, but I also took 2 different math tests, one over algebra and one over trig. And so those like decide like where you get placed in like your classes when you move in. But so I did all that, and then I went back up there last week for a picnic in Bowling Green with a bunch of like other students, and I'll move in August on the 18th.
Nice. So, fun fact, I used to be a trig teacher,
Really?
so that's very
I
impressive.
completely
I don't know, don't say that. Congratulations. We're very proud of you.
Right, moving on to item 3D is our attendance and enrollment report. Ms. Akers?
Good afternoon. Not a lot on the enrollment changed from the last time we had our board meeting, but this is the last day of school at Calvary Elementary. They finished the year with 344 students, Glasscock with 362, Lebanon Elementary had 293 students, and West Marion with 398. All of those included the preschool numbers as well. Lebanon Middle had 309 students, Marion County Middle at 282. Marion County High School finished the year with 810 students, and QC Spalding with 186 for a total of 2,984. If we compare the enrollment as of the last day of school compared to September 11th, at May 22nd, we had 2,984 students, and then in September we had 3,014.
I think we had 11 mid-year graduates with the UC Spalding, if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir, that's correct. Our attendance for the month of May was 94.21, so just a teeny tiny bit lower than May of 2025. Tiny amount. Our attendance year to date, we finished the year at 93.88. And this is our daily attendance. It includes the last day of school. We finished 170 days with 0 days remaining. We had 6 snow days for the year and 7 NTI. So this is very preliminary. It's as of today, it's our anticipated enrollment for each school. Right now, I'll tell you with the elementary, it's really tricky because our online registration hasn't opened yet. So we're really not getting a valid kindergarten number. But anyway, so with the information we have as of today, Calvary has 282 students. Glasscock has 340, Lebanon Elementary has 276, and West Marion 349. Just keep in mind that those kindergarten numbers will change significantly. Lebanon Middle has 325 students, while Marion County Middle has 294. Marion County High School has 838 students, and QC Spalding at 145. Again, this will change many times over the summer, and I'll keep you up to date. I'll give you an update in our July meeting. We do use this information when we receive a non-resident form, which means they're applying to come to Marion County Public Schools but don't live in the county, and our change in school when they do live in the county but they want to go to a different school. This is the data that we use to determine whether or not we can approve or not approve those forms.
And we generally try to approve as many of those as possible to accommodate our families. But if we have a grade level in particular that just has, they've almost reached the max, then sometimes that's difficult to accommodate all those requests. But in generally speaking, we try to accommodate families the best that we can.
Do you have any questions for me? All right, thank you.
All right, moving on to item 3E, the finance report.
So taking a look at the month of May, 26th compared to last year, May, again, we're posting in the fiscal year very, very consistent. The one thing I will point out up top there on the revenue, you'll see we're actually at this point $7,000 less to see this year, as that's gone down by one month of that. So we'll end the year less to see this year than we did last year. Overall, we're up almost $300,000 in revenue for the year. At the bottom, a couple things to point out. One, you'll see the student transportation is up $271,000. That's got a lot to do with this time last year. We already started paying a lot of buses to be retrofitted to be air conditioned. And then the bottom one there, the $5,200, the fund transfer, we're a positive $380,000. That was due to this year we only had to pay for the parking lot for transfer, whereas the year before we had some money to put into the Livestock Masonry, Marion County Masonry project, as well as the soccer practice field. So that nets out to a positive $380,000. So overall, our expenses are up about $455,000. So we're net minus $160,000 at this point right now compared to this time last year. We have a lot of bills due in June. Insurance, so that's not $50,000 that you all approved last month. So we'll look at the end of the fiscal year next month, and then of course we'll start the audit process.
Okay, moving on to item 4. Item 4A is acknowledgement of the first reading for 2026 policy update number 49 and procedure update number 30, so acknowledged. Moving on to item 4B, I need a motion, please.
Make a motion to consider approval of 26-27 student code of conduct.
Second.
Any substantive changes that we can?
Not a great deal. Every year we have our board attorney review those to ensure that, we're doing what we need to do to stay in compliance. Ms. Akers, you want to point out anything in particular? Very small changes.
Very small, one that I had to change in multiple places was to include the bus stop. That was not in our policy prior to, and that wasn't part of what they would have recommended. But this year, we had to include the bus stop and some information on student rights to religious expression. That was really all the changes that were made.
Were there any rules or updates on the use of AI, misuse of?
There was not.
So that's up to the school.
Yeah, it's covered in our technology plan, that under our acceptable use plan.
Yes, it is. It's under it would be under our acceptable use plan.
I want to make sure, because I know that my grandson talks about it all the time. It's just wonderful. I said, it's just wonderful if you're using it correctly. And my son assures me he is. And so I was just wondering, because once they finish high school and they go on, the plagiarism, we don't want that to be a part. So
We have a committee that we've met several times working on it,
good.
and most of those items are age restrictive, and then we also have a filter that blocks a lot of those. So we're tiptoeing with caution into all of these different, AI facets that we can go into. So we are continually working on it.
Well, grandparents are cautious and parents say they're really great. That's what my son said. If you use it right, it's really good. So I'm going with him and letting him, I'm staying out of that fight. But I just want to make sure we were covered.
Yes.
And I think, I'm sure as educators, I'm even very aware, especially when it comes to digital advertising, what's been created with AI versus what's been created by a professional, and then also in writing, those M dashes and N dashes. That's a big red flag that AI has been used, because I would say probably less than 10% of the population knows how to use that effectively, and when they do know how to use it effectively, they don't really use it at all. So I think as educators, you all are going to see flags that, oh yeah, this was written by AI or this isn't. And I also think we have keystroke monitors with regard to copy and pasting of information into the Google Classroom and into the Google Docs. So I think as AI continues to improve, then I think our trackers will continue to improve. Probably, definitely not at the speed with which AI is improving. But, you know, it is good to know that it's in our acceptable use policy. Other questions and comments on the student code of conduct? All in favor? Aye. Moving on to item 5, I need a motion on 5A, please.
I make a motion to consider approval of reorganization of central office, attachment 2.
Mr. Brady?
Yeah, so I want to be clear about one thing. These are not additional positions. So we are actually down positions in central office. We've cut multiple positions district-wide since I've become superintendent. We cut a position in this office earlier this year a position that we did not fill. So what this is again about efficiency, and it's about our impact to our public and our staff. So it just more clearly defines the roles of individuals within this office. So I think the net will be an improvement in the services that we provide, but again, same staff, just different titles. And just want to be clear about that.
Questions for Ms. Brady on that? All in favor? Aye. Moving on to 5B, I need a motion.
Move to consider approval of the revised job description for teacher listed in the attachment number 2. Number 3, I'm sorry, attachment number 3.
A second.
Any,
Yeah, so so we have 114 job descriptions in this district. So we started to update those. Obviously, teachers and instructional assistants are the two most employees in the large group of employees that we have. I went back and looked. Our last time that our teacher job description was updated was 2010. A lot has changed since then. So it does increase the focus on standards, curriculum, and instruction. It just really modernizes the teacher job description to fit what teachers are actually doing. It did add differentiation and assessment, both formative and summative. And then we also added that teachers must adhere to the professional code of ethics, and that's something that they always had to do. We made that clear in the job description. So not huge changes, but just really upgraded or updated the job that teachers are actually doing.
other questions here?
And we likely will bring additional job descriptions for you all in the future, just to continue to make sure that all of our job descriptions are up to date.
All in favor? Aye. Need a motion on 5C.
Make a motion to consider approval of revised job description for instructional assistant attachment number 4.
Second.
Any questions here? All in favor? Moving on to item 5D.
Make a motion to consider approval of 26, 27 salary schedule attachment 5.
Second.
Mr. Reddy, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so this does represent a 1.5% pay increase across the board. So, you know, as the board has done historically, you know, we try to take and look at every bit of the seat increase that we've gotten. And unfortunately, the seat increase for the upcoming years, not quite as generous as it has been. We do believe that we will actually end year over year as a net decrease. So again, you know, the efficiencies that I talked about earlier, I know that you all have been a board who tried to be as efficient as possible with the dollars that we have, and we're continuing to do so. Anything else that you all want me to add?
Like Mr. Brady mentioned, I think we hear a lot of conversation coming from the legislature in Frankfurt about historic SEEK funding given to districts, and while the base number has increased over past years, the reality for districts like ours is not necessarily historic. So looking back, you know, this year's SEEK funding forecast for the 26-27 school year is $11,728,431. Last year, our forecast was $12,558,058. Mid-year, we got our tentative projection, which went down, $12,223,099. And then what we got in reality is $11,870,379. So all of those things, and we know how complex the SEEK funding formula is, when you factor in everything, we took a hit of about $700,000 in the span of 1 year. And the recommendations that we get from the legislature as a school district is to take that SEEK funding formula and that generous SEEK allocation that we get from the legislature and use that to the best of our ability. And so when the request for putting teacher salary increases in the annual budget comes up, the information we get from the legislature is, well, we give you SEEK funding formula dollars, and that's what you guys are supposed to do with it. Over the last several years, that's exactly what this board has done with that funding, and we've also taken our 4% revenue and kind of coupled those two things together to be incredibly, to try to communicate to our team that they are valuable, that you all are valuable to us, that you all are incredibly valuable to us, in fact. And so in passing this salary schedule at a 1.5% increase, I'm disappointed that we can't do more, because I look at every single one of you all in the, in this building and in the classrooms and know that you are worth every penny and then some. Because we look at those academic improvements, we look at the facilities improvements, we look at our culture here, everything is going really well in Marion County Public Schools, and it's all because of the work that you all are doing and the work that your teams are doing in your buildings. Have we arrived? No, but I don't think any one of you would sit in this room and say, yeah, we're good. We don't have to do anything else because we're gonna stand on our laurels. So we know that that's not the team that we have. And so I say all of this to look at our forecast from last year at 12.5 million and our forecast to this year at 11.7 and say we want to do more, but we also hear headlines about other school districts that are in fiscally challenging positions because of poor decision making, because of this, that, or the other, and we don't want to get there. So know that if these SEEK dollars happen to be actually historic over the course of the year, then we will reward our staff, we will support our staff, we will make sure that everybody continues to have the resources they need to be successful, both at school and at their own kitchen tables. But we also have to keep in mind all of the needs and all of the uncertainty that exists out in the world for all of us. And so, I say, I don't think that we've arrived by any stretch of the imagination with this salary schedule. Just, I hope that you all will continue to have faith in each of us, that will continue to look at how competitive our salary schedule is, because we want to continue to go out into conferences and have other districts be mad at us because we keep stealing their good people. So I just want to say that to all of you all and ask that you all spread that throughout your buildings, that I don't think any of us sitting up here thinks that a 1.5% increase for each of you is giving you what you're worth. But there's a lot of uncertainty out there for all of us. And so we want to make sure that we continue to be fiscally strong in this district and that we're able to do the things that we have over the past several years.
And the silver lining of that is that this upcoming year was less than a 1% increase in SEEK, and that we're projected to receive a 3.6%, I believe, increase next year. So there is a silver lining, hopefully, there. I will add one more fact for the public is, we went back as far as 2008, and in 2008, and I think I'm telling you these numbers correctly off the top of my head, but in 2008, we were 71% funded by the General Assembly, 29% funded locally, and we're now over 50% funded locally and less than 50% funded from the state. So the burden has kind of shifted, and which is exactly what Ms. True is alluding to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I won't try to say it as eloquently as Chris and Carrie did, but I wish we could give a pay raise that allowed you to keep up with the cost of living, but we can't do that, for the reasons enumerated. And just as a sort of a glimmer of hope, in the budget bill this past, I don't know how close you all follow that, but House Bill 500 was the budget bill. There was an amendment, a floor amendment 12A, which would have required a 2% increase for all educational staff. Well, unfortunately, it didn't make it to the final bill. It got kicked out before that. So there are some people batting for us, and hopefully better things, like Chris was saying, will happen in the future. And I appreciate, the only reason we're doing, in my opinion, the only reason we're excelling now is because of you and the people you know out there doing the work every day. And we value you very much.
I don't think anybody else can say it any better, so thank you for your time.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Moving on to item 5E, I need a motion, please.
Make a motion to consider approval of fiscal year 27 emergency provisional certification for teachers and substitute teachers.
Second.
Mr. Brady?
Yeah, so anytime a teacher has an emergency or provisional certification, we're required to put the board order and date that you all approved the possibility for us to complete the application. So it's most often used for our emergency certified substitute teachers is primarily where this is used, but occasionally we are required, because there's not applicants, to hire an emergency certified teacher. So
Questions?
we try not to, I promise you.
I think we get a little penalty, don't we? Or is that gone away?
I don't think there's a penalty anymore.
There used to be, now I'm telling my age, once upon a time, that was a very big deal.
No, for federal funding,
Yes.
if we have teachers employed through like a Title I school, we're
Mhm.
required to provide notification to parents if it exceeds 20 days in a particular location. So we do notify our parents if we have someone emergency certified for longer than 20 days.
I knew there was something where there was a
Yeah, with our
little
title funding.
extra we had to do.
Other questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion on 5F?
Well, I'll move to consider approval of bond of depository pledge of collateral with Citizens Bank and Trust of Lebanon for 2026-27.
Second.
Anything you all want to say here?
Just something we have to do
Yeah,
every
so,
year, so
yeah,
no changes with Citizens
We did this
Bank.
out a few years ago, this is just, we have our KDE every year when you all approve to do this, so we stick with them. We have 2 more years left on our current contract.
All in favor? Aye. Moving on to 5G, need a motion?
Well, I'll move to consider approval to accept bids for the Dream Bus, and we have one bid from American.
No.
No, that's to consider, yeah, make a move that we consider the bid,
A second.
sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion on 5H, please.
I'll make a motion to consider approval to award the bid for the Dream Bus to the Marion County Clerk for $1,834.
I'll second.
Mr. Mattingly, since you're here with us this evening, would you like to share what you all have planned for the Dream Bus? I know that it's, I think I heard you on a live talk about how great it would be to be out in the community, so any big dreams for the Dream Bus that you want to share?
It all comes down to dollars and cents, but we've always wanted a branch in Loretta. This would allow us to have a branch all over the county. So whether that be with mobile voting or vehicle renewals, possibly outfitted to where it could be used as a drive-through vehicle renewal, like during our busiest times of year. I don't know. The- but it does come down to dollars and cents. I've told the fiscal court that it's not gonna make the county any money to have this service for the county. But I've had a magistrate text me while the meeting's been going on to see. So they're on board. They're, after bidding for it, I confessed to the fiscal court that I had done so, but I did not get any objections. So the fiscal court is on board with providing more services throughout the county, and if we can financially make that happen, then it'd be a good thing to do.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I know that the Dream Bus has been a huge part of the services that we've been able to provide over the years, just out in the community, and so we're thrilled to see that it's gonna continue to have life in that way. So thank you for your bid, and we're thrilled to turn it over to you.
And if you get your CDL and wanna, come over here and drive a substitute route every now and then, we'll take it.
The CDL is needed if you transport people.
Yeah, all right.
I'm assuming if I'm transporting, there's some logistics to figure out on this. But if I do get my CDL, and I can help in any way, I'll substitute my
He doesn't have time for that.
I know, I'm just giving him a hard time.
Now, one of the logistical issues that I've got right now, and it was brought up by my very intelligent wife. She said, "Where are you going to put it?" And I think she was hinting, "You're not bringing it home, right?" Is there, until I can get that question answered, is it okay where it's sitting?
We'll probably move it out of that parking lot, because we're getting ready to blacktop, but yeah, we've got room.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Moving on to item 5I, need a motion?
Make a motion to consider approval of memorandum of agreement with the city of Lebanon for 2 school resource officers for 2026-27.
Second.
Any questions? Thank you, City of Lebanon, for your partnership. All in favor? Aye. Moving on to 5J, need a motion?
Make a motion to consider approval of school resource officer memorandum of agreement with the Marion County Sheriff's Department for 26-27.
Second.
Thank you as well to our Sheriff's Department. They've been huge community partners over the years on a number of areas, and we're thrilled to be able to expand our SRO program through their help. So thank you all. All in favor? Aye. Need a motion on 5K?
Make a motion to consider approval of fiscal year 27 memorandums of agreement with Kentucky Department of Education for Sierra Wheatley and Karen Spalding.
Second.
Any questions here? All in favor? Aye. Need a motion on 5L?
Make a motion to consider approval of banned surplus items.
Second.
And just so everyone is aware, the surplus items that we are declaring are broken instruments that are beyond repair. Mr. McRae has a contact that can recycle and provides money in return. It offers repairs to other instruments or new instruments in exchange for the broken ones. So, yeah. So,
And you all do allocate additional money for the band each year that they use to purchase new equipment.
any other questions on that front? All in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion on 5M?
Make a motion to consider approval to declare 2 lawnmowers surplus.
Second.
Questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Need a motion on 5N?
Make a motion to consider approval to participate in the Light Tykes Matching Funds Grant for playground replacements.
Second. Mr. Brady, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, so earlier this year, the Glasscock PTO started to fundraise because the Glasscock Playground was starting to show its age. It's, 26 years old or so? So it old. So it needs to be replaced. And so we started, obviously that's a monumental task. I mean, you all see what the price is, 1.4, just shy of $1.4 million. And so Mr. Spalding and I started talking with principals and started looking at our equipment district-wide, and really it's a need that we have district-wide. And so we started looking at options for this. There is like, what you all have to consider, the Little Tykes Matching Fund. So it actually is a grant program through Little Tykes where you get a significantly reduced rate. And I know 1.4 million doesn't feel like it is, but it is a reduced rate. So the good thing about, not the good thing, the great thing about this, the playgrounds that we have, that we've quoted are handicap accessible. So they'd be poured in place, which is a solid surface, so no more rocks, no more rubber mulch that, wheelchairs cannot roll over. They would have a handicap accessible swing. It's gonna be a fantastic thing for our students. And again, it would replace all of our preschool playground and our regular playgrounds. I believe the capacity of the main part of the playground was 82 students, and then 8 capacity swing, and then we added a spinner, which was, I believe, 10 students. So we're getting close up towards 100 students that it could serve at one time. This would include purchasing for Lebanon Elementary School, and they would agree to store that to be incorporated as part of the building. Or am I leaving out, Scott?
The old playground.
Oh, yeah. So the old playground, there's a program to where they can be donated. So they have ICOM, and it actually is cost savings to us because it's about $30,000 for them to come and take the equipment out. But as part of this program, they will come, it's playgrounds across the world, they will come remove the playground and then take it to another country where the rules are less strict, so, and refurbish those and use them in, again, other countries. So a win for all, really. I mean, it's something that, quite honestly, is a big need that we have, and to able to do this at this time with our tax credit that we will receive from Calvary, and it's going to be fantastic. Our principals, I mean, I'd see them back there shaking their head, but very, very excited about the possibility.
And the time frame?
This building fund
Yeah, no, so what it is we have, because we did geothermal at Calvary, we're eligible for a federal tax credit that schools have never been able to qualify for before. So here in a matter of, do we know an update, Scott? In a few weeks, we're expecting a rebate of $1.841 million to come back to the school district, but it's a tax credit. And we've never been eligible for that before, we being a school district. Now, you personally would have been eligible for years, but that changed after COVID.
And then the Lebanon Elementary funding will simply come out of that project?
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
And then time frame?
So we're looking at, if we get it ordered sooner than later, potentially installed this summer. And I do think some of our locations, like Calvary, it may extend into the first week or two of August, but we hope to have these up and ready for the 26, 27 school year. So again, I'm just very, very excited.
Other questions, comments on the grant program?
I will add one more thing. So the poured in place will be for the main playground and then turf for preschool. So just like what's at Calvary. Just like on preschool at Calvary.
Other questions? All in favor? Aye. Moving on to 5O, acknowledgement of field trips, so acknowledged, and I need a motion on item 6, please.
I'll make a motion to approve student learning and support consent items A through D.
Okay, all in favor? Moving on to item 7, acknowledgement of personnel actions, so acknowledged, and I need a motion on item 8, please.
I'll make a motion going into executive session for preliminary discussion of superintendent's performance evaluation pursuant KRS 61.8101K for meeting required by law in closed session and KRS 156.5576.
All in favor?
Aye.